As we've been saying all day, tomorrow is May the 4th be with you, and our film guru,
Yes.
Jacob Smith, here to break it all down for us. Welcome back to the show again, Jacob.
Thank you,
Thanks
Jason.
for joining
Thank
us.
you.
You always bring so much institutional knowledge about movies, and here you are talking about Star Wars. So you kind of written some stuff up here. What are we
Yes.
looking at on the whiteboard?
So it feels like Christmas Eve. Tomorrow is May the 4th.
Yeah.
But right here, so we have the Star Wars movies, and this is the story in chronological order. And over
Okay.
here, this is how they were released. So we talked earlier,
Okay.
the old episode 4, 5, and 6, those came out originally,
Yeah.
and then we had the prequels, and then we had the sequels just a
Right.
few years ago.
Okay, yes. So we kind of started with like the middle of the story.
Yes.
And then we went back and got the history. Specifically, these movies were focused on who? The prequel movies.
So this is primarily the rise of Darth Vader, aka Anakin Skywalker, who is Luke's father from the original movies.
Right, yes.
And Obi-Wan Kenobi, of course, everyone's favorite, probably my favorite too.
Yes. Okay, I might throw you a little bit of a curveball question here.
Okay.
George Lucas, instrumental in all of these. How many of these did he actually direct? Do you know?
Yes, he only directed 4. So
Okay.
he did the very first one, A New Hope, and then he actually, you might think he did, but he did not direct the other two, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. But then he came in and directed all the prequels.
Okay.
So episodes 1, 2, and 3, and 4.
Okay, yes. And then who helmed these final ones that have most recently hit the theaters?
Yes, this is when Disney bought Lucasfilm and they kind of took over. Then J.J. Abrams directed The Force Awakens, and then Rian Johnson came in for The Last Jedi, kind of divided audiences.
Right.
And then J.J. Abrams ended up returning for the final movie, The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, yeah, I see. Okay, so you just mentioned in the last before the break
Yes.
that when you were growing up, it was the prequel movies that came out and hit theaters.
Yeah, that
right?
was my childhood,
Yes.
for sure.
Did you have a favorite among those three that you enjoyed?
Yes, hands down. And I consider it one of the best Star Wars movies, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
That final battle with Anakin just being consumed by the dark side is so tragic, but
Right.
so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It taught me how you always need to have the high ground. That's what I learned
know.
from that scene in that movie.
Right? Yes.
Got to have the high ground. And then there's that iconic, almost Frankenstein-esque moment when you see the helmet put on Anakin.
Amazing.
and
The
he looks-
music by John Williams is just reaching a height, and then, Anakin Skywalker is no more. He is now Darth Vader, and you can kind of see a sadness in him.
Yeah.
He thinks Padme, his wife, is dead. The Emperor lied to him about that. She was still alive at the time.
Yeah.
And it's really a tragic story. It's so sad.
I'm feeling the force is calling me right now. We have some guests with us in studio, if you've been paying attention over
Yes.
there.
Oh my
Darth
gosh.
and Boba. I'm wondering, what do they think of our reviews so far? Can they give us a response? Yep.
Oh,
Okay, yeah. He's like, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
okay.
you guys doing a good job. I bet he wants to hear us talk more about The Empire Strikes Back, which
Of
is
course.
considered by some to be the best sequel ever made in a movie series.
It's up there, for sure.
What are your thoughts on The Empire Strikes Back?
yes. I think overall it is my favorite Star Wars movie, and it is one of the best sequels ever made. But frankly, I would put Revenge of the Sith at number 2 of the whole saga.
Okay, Revenge of the Sith taking number
Yes.
2. That's big time news for you over there, Darth Vader. What do you think? We're putting it up there, talking about. Can you hear us inside that helmet? Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
there we go.
Okay, yes, there's a response. I bet he loves that, and I love how Boba is just standing by to
And
make
he's
sure
so
we
intimidating.
don't do anything wrong
I know.
over here. Yes, absolutely. Okay, you mentioned music.
Okay,
John
yes,
Williams.
yes.
Iconic score.
Of course.
Yes. Did you have a favorite John Williams, maybe song
Okay.
or theme that he returned to consistently during all of these movies?
Yes. So obviously that's a very hard question because all of his music for all the movies is incredible. But since you said specific piece of music, is absolutely Duel of the Fates from
Okay.
The Phantom Menace, the fight with Darth Maul.
Yes.
That piece is incredible. And then Revenge of the Sith has a great one called Battle of the Heroes, which is Anakin and Obi-Wan's fight.
Absolutely, too. And I know what we've stuck to here is the Skywalker saga, but
Yes.
there are a couple of big budget films that came out in theaters as well. Rogue One, I'm thinking of, and then Solo, a Star Wars story. Can you kind of break those down for us, and how do they fit into this storytelling?
Yeah, so Solo, I believe, comes before Rogue One in the story, which Rogue One goes right up to the beginning of A New Hope. Literally, the opening scene of A New Hope is moments after the end of Rogue One.
Right, so it's
I
right
think,
here.
Yeah, and I think Solo is a little before that. But Solo, of course, is the origin story of Han Solo, made famous by Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
It's his, upbringing and things like that. I know you're a big fan of Rogue One.
Rogue One is one of my, it's in my top 3, maybe even my
I know.
top 2 of all of those movies. I just love it.
That's a hot take, Jason.
I know, it might be a hot take. Who directed that one? Gareth Edwards, I think?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
And it's more of a kind of a war-based story.
Yeah, it's
I
kind
would
of like
say.
a military movie.
Military
it's like,
movie.
And also great characters.
Yes.
You know, super cool characters.
Jen Erso, I
Yes.
mean, one of the greatest, I feel like, heroines or heroes
Absolutely.
of these stories.
And I love
So-
Mads Mikkelsen. He plays her father.
Yes.
He's amazing.
Absolutely, 100%. Okay, final just thought here.
Yes.
What's your number 1?
Number 1 overall for sure, Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
And then top 3 would be Revenge of the Sith. And then I actually love The Force Awakens. It's kind of a tie between Force Awakens and A New Hope.
Okay.
They're
yeah.
very similar.
I can see they are similar. I mean, and they both kind of launched another series of trilogy
That's
films.
true.
So
Yeah.
great. Jacob, I know you're hanging out with us more, but thanks for breaking this down
Of course,
for us.
I love this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. We love it too. And it's